don't like sand. But when you're a dad and you've got children who you just generally want to see enjoy life, so what? Go stand on the sand, let it get in your clothes, bang it out later on, who cares? So there are some things that you have to kind of let go now that when you're a parent, because you grew up with strict rules that people just set on you. Can't do this, can't do that. And so when you have your own children, you kind of want them to enjoy life and be happy. So you set boundaries for them. Okay, this thing called boundaries. What it really means is enjoy life, but there are things that you don't do. So no, hold that boundary. And they'll get used to it. They'll know it. They'll learn it. And they'll respect it. Unfortunately, there are those who don't set boundaries for their kids. But what I do know is I would want my kid to just genuinely enjoy life, being able to express themselves well. You can tell when a kid... Alright, so it's obviously a spectrum. You see kids who just have no boundaries. They just go at it. They grab and go. They're not going to wait for any permission from anyone, because they know, if I don't do this, I'll not get my chance. Then there are children on the other end of the spectrum who are hesitant, because everything they do is monitored by a guardian or a parent. And it could affect self-confidence. But I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist. Maybe it won't affect them in the long run. Maybe it affects them while they're kids, but as they grow up, maybe they'll understand that there are rules. So if you want your kid to enjoy things, you can't have hang-ups. Like, you don't want sand in your shoes. As a grown-up, it's fair, because grown-ups need to clean. Want to make sure that sand doesn't get in the house, because it doesn't feel pleasant on your feet. That's why I don't like sand. But children need to enjoy their lives. They need to understand this is what life is about, playing. After you work hard doing something boring. I grew up in a home where there were a lot of rules, but my area, my zone of playtime was for me. Do whatever you want, just enjoy and be happy. And I didn't have a lot of fancy things growing up. I played with a lot of my brother's hand-me-downs. I played with a lot of my dad's old toys, which I'm sorry to say I broke many of them. And I would never want that for my child. Like, I don't want my child to break the things that she likes. Because sometimes you as a kid, you don't intend to break them. You don't. But you haven't quite learned the art of being gentle. You played so hard that things broke. My daughter's the same. Sometimes she enjoys something so much, and she's so curious that she might accidentally break a toy she wasn't supposed to, but she learned a lot from it. And I didn't have play dates. Oh, that's not true. Hang on. I had play dates, but we played with whatever we had. My daughter, she's only 3, but she has had more toys than I had for at least a good 7 years of my life. But we also didn't have things like extracurricular activities after school. I just played in the backyard. And get this, I made poison. It was a mixture of water and chalk, and I called it poison. Okay, I was still a stupid kid, but nevertheless, I came up with ideas. I had ideas, and unfortunately, you see a lot of kids these days. They don't use their imagination. They're just plugged into an iPad almost all the time, even at dinner time. We play a lot. There's extracurricular activities, but sometimes, if your kid doesn't enjoy it, then you're not going to enjoy the day. And so you're thinking, I've spent all this time to go to these places, yet we're not making the most of it. So you might think, that's not cool. So you kind of feel turned off, like, why do we do this when we can just be at home? My daughter likes to read, or rather she likes to learn, and that's amazing. It's very interesting character of her. I don't doubt there are other kids who are like that as well, but I just find it fascinating that you literally have these cool toys that you can play make-believe with, which is what I think I did as a kid. I used my imagination a lot, but my daughter likes to do puzzle books and learn, and that's really cool. It's really cool to see. So I will want to break the cycle for my kid, in that it's okay to enjoy, and you don't have to be like too safe. It's okay to fall. God knows how many times I've fallen. It's okay to bite into a tree branch randomly. It's not going to kill you unless it's like some poisonous tree, which we don't often get. But they're having a childhood. The same childhood I did, playing with chalk, making poison. The interesting thing about the Iron 883 is that this is a street bike. Let's be real. You're not going to be doing long distance cruising with this one. It's not going to be comfortable. So the controls are not that forward, but not middle. I don't know what it is. I like the fact that I'm not guessing where the gear shifter is and where the brakes are. It's kind of natural. But because I mostly ride street bikes, controls are mostly in the middle for me. The Hayabusa, however, is a chunky sportster, a chunky sports bike. And so the controls are a little bit more to the rear. Gosh, I hope the Harley suspension is doing okay, because Some of these bumps, potholes are brutal. If anyone's ever thinking of doing this, this is a tour with Bali Eagle Bikers. I'm not sponsored, but this tour is costing me 2.4 million rupiah. 2.4 million rupiah. It comes with a guide. It's a half-day tour of the island. It'll cost some more for a full-day tour, surely, but you have a guide. If I were familiar with the roads, I'd probably just rent the bike myself and not need a guide. But you know, it's good to have someone who knows these roads. You might end up taking... It's good to have someone take you around. So Bali Eagle Bikers, they're not too far from Sanur, where I'm staying. 2.4 million rupiah for a half-day tour of the island with a Harley Davidson Iron 883. They have other motorcycles as well. If you want a Kawasaki, if you want a maxi scooter, I'm sure they have one. A big scooter would be good if you have a pillion. It's just more comfortable. But like I said, I've always wanted to ride a Harley Davidson, and gosh, today has been a very, very lucky day. Really beautiful day, and I dare say do this on the weekend. You know, they always say, you know, do touristy attractions on a weekday because there'll be fewer people. But in Bali, I don't know if that's true, because the roads are so narrow, everyone's going to work and back. The roads are always so busy that it makes it not enjoyable to be in a car. So I think doing this on a Saturday is just perfection. The roads aren't so busy. Wow, listen to that. Got it. Yeah. Go second and then down.